So how bad has it become, and how much are the cartels really, a key player in this?
Right. So, the cartels make most of their money trafficking in dope over the river, and guns and other whatever makes them money. And when they saw this thing happening, this huge wave of humanity coming, this wind, I guess, they put their sail up into it, of course. And in the areas that they controlled, they required those migrants to pay a crossing fee, big ones. $2,500 for an average Central American, for a family, $10,000 to get to cross. Huge money, really. In the areas that they control, others are racking up a lot of profit by moving runners in. Remember, I told you about the runners. And so, we don't really know how much money they're making. Nobody really knows how much money they're making. But, I can tell you that ICE intelligence officials have testified about this in Congress, and I've read the testimony. And, they were saying that prior to this mass migration, they might have been making $500 million a year. It's kind of like a side hustle to the drug trafficking. And now I'm seeing them testify that in that first year of 2021, which was a record-breaking year, but it was still just the first year that they might have made as high as $13 billion that 1 year. The numbers were even greater in 2022. So, it could be 20 billion. Nobody really knows, but it's definitely way deep into the B land. So, what do they do with that money? Why do we care? Is that they buy weapons. They pay off government officials. They weaken the Mexican state. They fight each other. There's, terrible combat going on in Mexico right now. They're using armored vehicles against each other, shoulder-fired rockets, fully automatic 50 caliber machine guns, fully automatic 30 cals. They have all the weapons of modern warfare. They're fighting each other. They bought that with the proceeds of this mass migration crisis. That's a problem because the way that we keep the cartels in check isn't directly. We don't bomb the cartels. We have the Mexican government go in and do things to the cartels that would hurt business. That's how we keep them under control. But when those cartels get really militarily powerful like they are now, and we need something done, or we need to put a red line against something, we can't very well tell the Mexican military to go in there and pound them, because they're stronger than the Mexican military now. So that's a U.S. national security interest that is highly degraded because of this mass migration crisis. We can't really tell them what to do and what not to do like we could before.
Do you think this has also opened the floodgates for the drug trade coming into the U.S. and even the illegal gun trade? We've seen fentanyl skyrocket, whether you're talking about actual physical fentanyl being within the United States or, the overdoses that we've seen killing over 100,000 people, and that number is just continuing to increase. And that conversation is seldom had as well. Do you think that this is aiding in being able to traffic those drugs and other entities over?
I don't think that there's a lot of, really hard evidence that it is. On the other hand, I have to think that it probably has something to do with it. And what I mean by that is, well, for one thing, that is a sharply upswinging drug. Fentanyl, high profits, low weight, easy to make, cheap. So, it's a highly profitable drug. But, I wonder if we wouldn't still have, it's because it's so compact. It's really easy to smuggle over the border in trucks or, even on a drone. You could just fly that thing in and drop it. So there's this whole kind of connection, I guess, that people want to make between the mass migration and fentanyl and then the deaths of Americans. I mean, I have to guess that because there are less Border Patrol agents on the line now, because a lot of them are processing, that it's easier to cross it over. But, a lot of fentanyl gets mailed in the U.S. mails from overseas. Tons of it gets in that way. A lot of it gets stolen from hospitals where it's legal. There are a lot of ways to get that fentanyl in. And I sometimes wonder if we had Donald Trump back in and the numbers were 30,000 a month instead of 230,000, and we'd still have fentanyl.
When I was young, my daddy said, gotta keep one eye open in your bed, 'cause there's a